Hi everyone, and welcome to my first episode of what will probably be quite a few episodes of this Ask the Stylist series, answering your questions. Now, when I put the call out for you to ask any question you liked, related to style of course, for me to answer, I really didn't expect to get as many as I did, which is wonderful, but also a little bit overwhelming, I have to say. And for those of you who saw on stories, what I've decided to do is I have sort of categorized all of the questions and I've come up with 12 topics because a lot of you had very similar questions. So I figured rather than answering each individual question, I'll try and categorize them into topics. So what I'll do is every episode I will cover off a few of those topics, but I'll also put in the comments what topics I'm covering, so that if the topics don't relate to you, if you don't care about jeans for tall women with long legs, then you can not watch or fast forward at any point in time. And I'll also put captions on the video so that you can just sort of fast forward until you get to the next heading, and then you can go, oh, okay, that one's for me. So you don't all have to watch. And I'm mindful that I've already been speaking for 1 minute and 24 seconds and I still haven't answered any questions. So as you can see, I'm happy to keep talking. But before I do, the idea of this sort of came about because I thought, well, I haven't done the IGTV live yet, but I wanted this to feel like a live interview, a live Q&A. So I'm not going to do any editing. If I muck up, if I throw in a swear word every now and then, it's not supposed to be perfect. It's very off the cuff. So grab yourself a cup of tea, glass of wine. I've got my tea for the moment. And I hope you get something out of this and you feel like you're just sitting in my lounge room having a chat. So the first topic. Now, this was one to come through pretty quickly, and it is a question that I get asked a lot. And I thought I'd address this one because it's sort of, for me, I find it a little bit, I don't know, a bit sad, frustrating, but it is what it is that women feel that they need to ask this question, which is basically around what's appropriate for my age. So this one I've categorized under the heading age appropriate. So what I will do is I will read out the questions. There's not too many in this group, so that you can see the sort of questions that have been asked, and hopefully if one of them was yours, and then try and just sort of, I suppose, give you my answer as a collective answer that I think hopefully will address all the questions. So questions such as, should you change your style in your 40s? The best brands for a 41-year-old to look age appropriate and stylish, but not frumpy and old. What are the best jean options for size 10 over 40 short girl? Thanks. Do you believe in age appropriate dressing? I'm 48, me too. What stores are the best to shop for an over 60-year-old petite, small framed, trendy lady? Very specific. And what style suits a short waisted 5'2" over 60s woman? So there's a lot of questions on age, and here's what I think. Like, I get that as women, we get really confused at different stages of our life as to where we can shop. So I've had circumstances with clients in their 20s that don't know where they should shop. You know, what's age appropriate for them? Should they still be shopping where they shopped when they were a teenager? Equally, I have clients in their 60s and 70s who narrow down their choices because they think that's where they're supposed to shop. So I'm going to give you an interesting analogy and a really good example. So I might be shopping with a 25-year-old, and I will happily take that 25-year-old into Sportscraft. And the reason I'll take that client into Sportscraft is because I know that there is a certain type of, a certain item, might be a pair of jeans, it might be a great jacket, a great pair of pants, that is going to fit that 25-year-old perfectly and is exactly what they want. Now, just because Sportscraft is not really somewhere that we think of is for a 25-year-old, that's no reason for me not to take that client shopping in there. Now, would I show that 25-year-old in Sportscraft one of their classic Liberty printed cotton button-down collared shirts? Probably not. That's probably too conservative, too old. But that's not to say that there aren't other pieces in Sportscraft that I wouldn't show her. And if we flip that on its head, I will happily take a 65-year-old client into Sportsgirl, because they have a fabulous new season blazer, or maybe a beautiful boho blouse that I think is going to work for them. But would I show that same 65-year-old client the little denim short cutoffs in Sportsgirl? Probably not, maybe, but probably not. So the point is here, and my answer to all those questions is, please, ladies, do not narrow down where you can and can't shop just because of your age. You can shop any damn place you want to. It's about what you choose in that store to suit you. I think that's pretty clear. Now, the other thing that frustrates the hell out of me, and I think this is why as women we get very confused, is because when we go into these stores, or when we're looking on the websites, we're following their Instagram accounts, and we'll keep using Sportscraft and Sportsgirl as a good example. So if you're a woman in your 50s or 60s or 70s or 40s, whatever, and you're looking at somewhere like Sportscraft that perhaps you've been shopping for quite some time, you know that it suits your style, you know that it has more of a classic, slightly conservative aesthetic about it, which it does. But when you look on their Instagram and their Facebook and their website, why are all the models in their 20s? Why are the women modeling the clothes designed for you so much younger? And that's where we get confused. So I think as we age, the problem is not so much where we cannot shop, what shops do and don't cater for us. It's about what shops are demonstrating to us. Actually, let me go back. I think I forgot what I was saying. So I'm not going to edit this. The point I think I was trying to make is that as we age, the models don't sort of age with us. So those stores that we look at are still from all appearances, are catering towards a younger market because their models are young. And we've just got to get beyond that. And look, there are some great brands, Sportscraft being one of them, who are using fabulous, more mature models, like my friend Lou Kenny, who I'm seeing her face. This is a woman 60 who is just everywhere at the moment, which is fantastic. And brands are slowly changing, but they're not changing quickly enough. So this is why we get confused as women, and this is why we like to pigeonhole ourselves into where we can and we can't shop, rather than, as I said earlier, just shopping anywhere you want, but making sure that whatever you choose works for you, whether it's working for your shape, working for your personal style, working with your lifestyle, and importantly, working with your budget. So I'm pretty sure I've answered that question pretty well. And I know some of you might be looking for really specifics, like, Sally, can I still shop in Forever New? Can I still shop in Country Road? You know, now that I'm 40, where should I shop? And for me, yes, your style will absolutely evolve as you age. And what often happens is, as we transition through the decades, and this is probably a really obvious one for my clientele, particularly I find the 30s into the 40s. So women who have either had families, so they've gone from being maybe a professional woman to working part-time, having a young family, or maybe flip side, they've done both, or maybe they've worked their corporate careers and are now in a much more senior role and can look back and see that their style hasn't really evolved. Well, that's not about telling someone, okay, well, you've got to stop shopping in Portmans and start shopping in Country Road or Trenery. It's just about, okay, so next time you go back into Portmans, maybe for work, don't pick up the little ruffly dress or skirt that finishes here, and you know, the deep scoop V-neck top that's a bit cleavage exposing, or I don't know, whatever else. But choose the pieces that are perhaps a little bit more tailored or a little bit more sophisticated, that are going to suit your purpose and your time in life. Does that make sense? I hope so. And I hope it does feel like we're just here having a bit of a chat. I can probably hear you all asking questions, but and maybe we'll see how this goes, and maybe I will do an Instagram live, but I can see that this is like already 10 minutes. Bloody hell, Sally. All right, so that's episode 1. Hey, let me know what you think. And I'll be in a different part of the house every day. I'll wear a different outfit. We'll see you soon. Bye.